Heyo, I thought I would do another drawing demonstration here, since I enjoyed doing the last one that had to do with drawing cartoons. And I thought in this video I would show how I do most of my drawing style, which is sketch drawing. And with this style, I'll usually take a picture that's provided to me of a person, friends, or celebrities, whatever, and then do my drawing style over that particular picture. And I thought in this example it would be fun to draw a streamer I enjoy on Twitch, um, despite the mixed reviews that this individual gets, and that is Hasan Piker. Now I'm not going to do anything silly with this one. I know a lot of folks like to give him big head and give him a big head and you know all that, and I'm not gonna do anything like that in this one. I'm actually gonna do um, an actual sketch. So how I do that is I take the image here, I make that one of the layers, and then I'll make kind of like how I was doing the cartoon. I usually do 3 layers on top of that. Not not that I'll always use the 3 layers, but it's just an impulse. I always add 3. One of them, the topmost layer, is going to be the actual sketch. The one below that will typically be the shading, and the third one might be for any other reason. If I'm focusing on a particular area of the subject, in this case, it's probably going to be the eyes and along Hassan's chin line, because that's where most of the detail drawing is going to take place. So I might focus that those details on that third layer. But for now, what I'll do is I'm going to make a copy of the original image, and then deactivate it. You don't see it happening because it's off to the right side there, but I have 2 copies of this image. I'll turn one off just to keep it there as the primary subject, so I can always refer back to it to see what it was. But on the copy, I'm gonna turn down the make it more opaque. I'll go about anywhere from like halfway or less. In this case, I got it at 35. Then I'll go up to the top layer, which is going to be the sketch itself, and I'll zoom in on where I'm about to start on the drawing. So I'll get the brush tool, and sometimes with this, make sure I have my black selected. I'll have to fiddle around a few times to kind of find a pen size that seems appropriate for the drawing I'm about to do. 3 might be the way to go. That. Again, I usually just start. It's a sketch. I'm not doing like hard lines on this particular layer. Doing little scratches there, and I can clean it up later as I go along. I mean, if I wanted to do a hard line, I'll give an example of that. But like, not actually, I'll just get a feel for it and see if I like it. What I mean by hard line is kind of like going like that, like tracing all the way along, almost on a single stroke. That. That doesn't look too bad, I guess. Maybe I'll go back and forth. You know, it's like whatever until I find a method that seems to be working. I think scratch would works. Scratching is where I like stroke multiple times over and over, like ch 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 ch. I think along the chin kind of works because it's gonna have the little hair follicles for his beard, anyways. So whatever works. Kind of feel it out here. Go along his. And sometimes in these drawings, I will modify features for what is comfortable for me. It doesn't have to be exact. In fact, I personally prefer that it isn't. And the reason I even mentioned that, because that's what I'm doing with his ear. You can see I went outside, and then with that other ear, I'm gonna match that shape a little bit. You know, maybe make it almost like anime style or something. Whatever works. Get up as I go. Since it's now, actually, I'll add one more layer on top of that, and then I'm going to turn the opacity down. I'll show you why. Is to try to match the ear line there. Might go. Bear with me here. But like to kind of make a reference point on the opposite side, I'll go like that ish. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. Just, close enough. It bends there as well. I'll just do that. I mean, I could get like a line tool and make it exact, but I'm not interested. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. And his head's slightly tilted, so that's why I did that. I'll go. You know, sometimes it might take a few tries to get the shape you're looking. No. That seems okay to me. You know, I'll go with that. It's fine. Little feet there. And I'm basically making things up now. As far as like those little details, I'm doing my thing, even though that's not exactly the shape of his ear or whatever. I choose. So for his hair, I'm gonna do scratchy stuff here. I might even make up the hairstyle a little bit, you know, make it look somewhat like what's going on, the hairstyle that he has naturally. But do kind of like a Johnny Bravo looking sort of thing. Doesn't matter, just so long as you know you get the general idea of what the subject is. Kind of wavy thing going on here. Yeah, and I'll come back to that. Now let's get his facial features here. Like I said, don't be surprised if I, you know, kind of make some stuff up. But I choose. In the end, it'll look. Hopefully, it'll look close enough to the original subject, anyways, that people will be able to tell who it is, even though it's kind of in my own style. Actually, do want to get his eye shape pretty close, because eyes are pretty distinctive on most individuals. It's one of the first things, because that's what you're looking them in the eyes most of the time. Even if you're watching their stream or whatever, you just do that impulsively. They tend to be the most recognizable. So I do want to get that almost as close to the original shape as possible. That was a little sharp. That if I was drawing a female celebrity, I'd probably keep the edges sharp, but although not to say that Mr. Piker here doesn't have, you know, some what you would call like pretty features, that can be incorporated pretty easily, and it still works. Got a particularly pronounced bottom lip, so I want to be sure to capture that, but not so much that it ends up looking like a female cartoon. So I'll emphasize that it's there. I don't want to make it look like he's wearing lipstick or anything. It's not that kind of a drawing. Kinda. I don't know. I may have to work on this. For instance, that left eye. I think I'm gonna have to make it up to match that one. So I'll go back to that top layer guideline. And some that. work already. Guideline. See if I can make something happen there. Like I said, sometimes it might take a few tries. I think I'm gonna have to do that. Try to get it right. That'll work for me for now. It's not great, but you can always come back and little corrections as needed. That for now. Sorry, I'm getting kind of nitpicky, but it's whatever. So there's a couple ways you can do eyebrows. You can fill them in like I'm doing here. Got very pronounced eyebrows here. This way. The other way is, actually I probably can put those on a different layer now that I'm gonna give examples. So I'm just selecting them and then copying them. We'll see, add another layer. Going to back to the sketch layer and then paste them back. Oh, no. Let's see what I did there. Okay, so I'm copying them from sketch. Going back to the. Oh, okay, hold on. Then deleting. So now they're in their own layer. In this case, and I'll make one more layer here for the next example. The other way I'll sometimes do eyebrows is I won't make it solid like that. I'll instead kind of draw an outline of where the eyebrows are. And the purpose of that varies depending on the drawing that you're doing. If you want to put it in a different color or something, there's that, or that. Now, I think for this drawing, both look a little odd. But for this drawing, I'm going to keep the dark ones just because this one has dark hair color naturally, darker tones. So I'm just going to do the eyebrows. And his neckline here. Ooh. Here I'm on I'm not titling any of the layers, so I have to double check. I turn them off and on and see which one is which. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll name a layer. Sketch, shading, color, fill, or whatever it needs to be. And I'll usually do that for a drawing that I intend to work on for an extended period of time. Something I'm going to come back to later time. But this one, I'm not going to do that. I'm doing this fairly quickly just to kind of give an idea of how I go about this. I'm going to create a new layer for the clothing in case I want to color it or add a certain style to the clothes and not affect the sketch of subject himself. And like I said, I'm gonna be making stuff up as I go and not making it exactly like what you see. because I choose to. My drawings. I wanted to close the two sides of the jacket off there because he's got a shirt underneath. I want to be able to identify which is which. I'm gonna not draw the jewelry in this case, just because jewelry tends to have a lot of detail, and it is fun to draw. You know, to get the shading and how to make it look shiny or whatever. But I'm gonna pass on it in this case. That's pretty much most of sketch work. Go back and yeah. So now what I'll do is some of the shading. I always turn the shading layer down to around 30 or so. 5 looks like. Okay. Get a little big actually. I'm just filling in shading the overlaps here and there. Some of the shading might look kind of rough at first, but that's what's neat about the the blur tool. It can clean some of that up for you. Go along. Kind of. Some of it's like if the shading was a little bit more than you had shaded, so you can just blur it more. almost get rid of it, but not completely. Still there just enough to find that area. Might even up. Then, I'll turn off the photo once in a while just to kind of see how it's matching up. Actually, I might even. Oh well, I was gonna say I might be done with that layer, but not quite yet because I want to get the where the hairline is for 5 o'clock shadow. I'm gonna turn 10 almost off. Very fine line. Right now I'm just kind of contouring where the facial hairline fit. That way I can more or less deactivate that layer drawing on my sideburn. Yeah, so I think pretty much. Now this part might take a little while, but the idea is here is to just scratch in those little micro hairline. You might not even have to do that. I could probably just leave the outline even. See how it looks. You can always erase it or go back if I. Doesn't really matter. And as I'm sketching him, I'm kind of following shape of that area, like his chin. It's a rounded off thing, so I'm rounding off. And that might not even be in the original photograph, but I don't care. Making up my own thing and seeing how it looks, see if I like it, and if I don't, I can just undo it. Not a big deal. Curvatures of the indent on your upper lip and all that. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. I like it. And then for his hair, I don't want to. I don't want to do all that scratching stuff that I did just now for his jawline. I think I'll just make stuff up. I don't think I'll color in the hair completely. And again, maybe I'll change my mind. You know. So we'll just see. I think at the moment I like just defining where the hair is. It does kind of imply that he's a blonde now, so I don't know. Let's take a let's just see. I'm making a new layer. I'm gonna put it below the sketch. Okay. And what I'll do is make a brush. I'm gonna turn that layer down, almost like it's a shading layer. I'm gonna turn it down to 20 here. And brush a little bigger. Yeah, we'll go with that. And I'm just gonna see what it looks like to kind of like fill in some kind of darker tone in hair. You know, just to imply that he's not a blonde. You know? Not that I don't think Mr. Piker would look bad as a blonde. That's not how he rolls. That. It almost wasn't allowing me to select the eraser. It's like now I'm not. I have no permission to even make mistakes. Yeah, you know, and it's not completely dark like the original photo. Get to it. The original photo. I mean, hair's pretty dark. But you know, I'm just implying that it's that dark rather than making it dark. Darker than straight white. My paintbrush trick here, or paint bucket trick. So what I'm doing is closing off that area. Color is. Using the paint bucket, just fill it in. Paint the white lines so it leaves. Eraser tool. Clean it up a little bit here. I'm actually like I'm like drawing with the eraser in a way. Just to make it not so hard line. Just make it kind of scratchy. Like I'm going up and down, up and down, up and down. I like it. You guys like it, but I dig it. Makes him look like less than a blonde. I think I'll use the blur tool along the edge here just to soften it along the hairline. It doesn't look so harsh. Okay. And moment. I I think I'll darken his eyes up so he doesn't look like a vampire. I think, if memory serves me, I put his eyes on it. No, that was his eyebrow. I'll, for the same layer that I did his hair, I'll darken the eye. Not color, darken. That a little bit, and then I'm gonna imply shine. And a little smaller, like white. A little something there. Or maybe a little bit bottom left. And then I'll blur it a little bit. Blur pen. Small. A little bit on the edge. Because I don't want to blur so much that it gets rid of shine. Just a side. Now, I did notice, I'm gonna take a look here. I did notice that Mr. Piker has, I think I'll make it up. But I noticed that there was a little bit of like eyelid or fold there, so I want to make sure I get that in there. Back to sketch. Black, do a little, something like that. A little bit of lid, not a lot. Usually for female subjects, I'll do that a little bit more. A little bit more of that upper eyelid, usually because like I also emphasize their eyelashes. That in just a little bit, but not too much to where it makes it look like Piker's wearing eyeliner. But still, it's just enough to still emphasize that the eyes are pretty, Blur it. Now, got. I think that's I mean, there's certainly more I could go on with, but well, I'll call that good. Be my sketch drawing. Mr. Hasan Piker. And like I could get back to the shirt, the clothing, and do whatever I want. I could make it plaid. I could make it a solid color. The undershirt was darker in the original, so I could, if I wanted to, I could make that black. Whatever I want. Shading in the hair, maybe. But, overall, I'm satisfied with this drawing. I think it's good for this demonstration. So, I will go ahead and just call that a wrap. And otherwise, until next time.